There is a fly in here. Maybe
There
it'll
is.
stay over there and watch the show. Spooky season is upon us. With that being said, I have a great idea for an opening part of the podcast.
Cool. Hit me with it.
Jump scares.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh my I got him! I pranked him! Roll the intro music!
I'm doing the intro this time because you're a jerk. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Podzilla. It's a digital discourse in pop culture. I'm your co-host.
Okay, I'll never do it again. I promise I'll never do it again.
I was wondering why you were still laughing. I was like, that bit was not that funny. What I was saying, it was not that funny.
I'll never do it again. It's spooky season.
Yeah, intro's over. You know who we are, and if not, it doesn't matter.
Get ready for lots of jump scares on this spooky
Oh.
episode. I'm not going to do any more jump scares, I promise. That's Scout's honor.
All right.
Psych, I'm not a scout. No, I really won't.
Straighten the tie. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Podzilla. It's a digital discourse in pop culture. I am one of your co-hosts through Lights and Magic. My name is Braden.
And my name is David, and we have a lot to chat about today.
Yeah, we sure do. It's is this the first official episode that we're recording in spooky time?
Yes.
In the spooky month?
I'd say it is. I think this is our first recorded. I think we released one during spooky
Yeah.
time, but this is our first recorded one.
Yeah.
Maybe in spooky.
I'm excited about
Spooktober.
Is
With it being the beginning of spooky season, I think that it's only right that we first talk about a Halloween-themed movie that has come out on Netflix called Hubie Halloween. Did you watch Hubie Halloween?
last night because I knew we would talk about it.
Yes. I had to pick my time. Did Sydney watch it with you?
Watched.
She was on her phone the whole time? That's fair. I had to pick a time where my wife wasn't even home because she would not.
Yeah.
What did you think of this movie? For those of you who don't know what this movie is about, this movie is set in Salem, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the quintessential Halloween movie.
Mhm.
It's set in Salem. It's about this guy who Adam Sandler plays as though he's maybe on the spectrum.
He's absolutely okay. Yeah, he's on the spectrum.
He's on a
Yeah,
spectrum.
he's on.
And Adam Sandler basically gave the middle finger to everyone who supported him getting an Oscar for Uncut Gems and said, because I didn't get an Oscar in Uncut Gems, screw all of you. I'm going to
Yep.
make the most quintessential cringy Adam Sandler movie that I can make. However, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You're right.
It was
You're right.
actually pretty funny in parts. The worst. It was a Happy Gilmore movie.
It was.
It was.
It
And
was.
so because knowing that it's a Happy Gilmore movie, you have to know that it's gonna be the Adam Sandler
Right.
humor. It's gonna be
Yeah.
that dumb humor. And
There's-
you also have to know that like Steve Buscemi and Rob what's his
Schneider.
name? Rob Schneider are all gonna just be in it, and Adam Sandler's just gonna be Adam Sandler. Jackie Sandler's gonna be in it.
And his daughters.
And his daughters were like actual characters in it.
So there's a mindset you enter into an Adam Sandler movie, and then there's a mindset you enter into a Happy Madison movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Did I say Happy Madison?
I'm sure
I meant Happy Madison if
at
I
some
said
point
Happy
you did.
Gilmore.
Yes, you said Happy Gilmore, but
Happy
I mean,
Madison. I know the difference. Don't bring it up again. Yeah, go ahead.
Man, so I went into this like thinking about a Happy Gilmore movie, like it's going to be a Happy Gilmore movie. And then the Happy Madison production, like, and then the Happy Madison.
That gave us movies like The Wrong Missy on Netflix, The Do-Over on Netflix, as well as, I'm pretty sure, like Paul Blart Mall Cop, Grown Ups. These are all the same production house. So Jack and Jill. Think about those movies when we say Happy Madison Productions.
So I'm like, I don't know what to expect. Like, I'm in the mindset.
You don't expect much anyway.
Right. I'm in the mindset of this movie is just like, it is a Halloween movie. It is a dumb Halloween movie. Not supposed to be scary. Not exactly supposed to be funny, but supposed to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's fair to say with a Happy Madison movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not supposed to be funny, but not supposed to be, like, but it's supposed to be funny. Like,
it's a very specific type of humor.
Yeah. Like, you're going to think, I think at least once per Happy Madison movie, you think about turning it off. Is that fair? Or
at least, I'd say this, at least once during a Happy Madison movie, you're going to pull your phone out and like, check at the very least check the time, or see if you got any spam calls. Like, this seems like a good time to check my inbox for spam.
Like
during this Happy Madison movie.
Yeah. But man, yeah. So it gave me what I wanted, and it gave me what I didn't want.
What did you want?
I wanted
entertainment for an hour and a half.
Sure, I wanted entertainment for an hour and a half, and I wanted like a couple of laughs.
It
gave me that.
What did you not want?
I didn't want to cringe for 40% of the movie.
The worst part about the movie is Adam Sandler's voice.
Okay, yes. So in the trailer, I thought it was like funny. I thought it was Adam Sandler being Adam Sandler.
Yeah, because you're watching it for a 60-second trailer.
Right.
But when you stretch that 60 seconds among an hour and a half, it gets old.
And here's another point is, like, in Happy Gilmore, he's doing an Adam Sandler voice, but it's not as much of a parody. Right. But I feel like Hubie Halloween is a parody of Happy Gilmore.
Hubie Halloween is like, if it feels like Adam Sandler is playing telephone with himself.
So,
like, he's doing a character voice
in
his own ear, and then he's turning and doing another character voice into another ear, and then it moves down the line, and Hubie is where it has landed.
So you can do an Adam Sandler impression, and then I will do it. Like, say I don't know, say something in your Adam Sandler voice.
Well, the thing with Hubie Halloween is that he's like, he how do you even describe this Joker's voice? Like, it's not just the normal.
So it's Happy Gilmore's voice.
Yeah.
But if he mumbles.
He does the S's really like this all the time.
So he does the S's like this all the time.
You're turning into baby Adam Sandler.
Right.
Yeah. Shut up. And then you do the Adam Sandler, and then it's like his Hubie got even more. And then, like, he gets hit by something. It's like, oh my God, please stop.
I feel
the
like
guy.
Adam Sandler, like,
I feel like it is a baby.
he was Custer in this movie. And whenever he was Custer in this movie.
And then he does those things.
And this review is equivalent to Hubie Halloween.
That's my. This is my official review of Hubie Halloween.
Shut up! Yeah. Shut up! Yeah.
So man, it was it had its funny moments.
Yeah.
The movie would have been funnier if he wasn't being such an annoying character. If he would have just been like an actual likable character instead of doing that weird character that he did. I don't understand how you could direct that movie.
I don't
there
know.
had to certainly.
Here's the thing: it was pretty to watch.
It was a great movie. Visually, it was great.
Visually, it was really.
It was
good.
great. It was a great, like, for what it was a great filmmaking. It was good filmmaking.
Absolutely.
Even the story itself wasn't that bad.
No.
The worst part, and even the acting wasn't that bad.
Right. And
even Adam Sandler.
There's a little plot twist in there, and it's not that bad.
And even Adam Sandler's acting wasn't bad.
No.
It was literally just the voice.
And his choice for the character, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, like that was what made the movie bad, was just his character choice.
I won't say that. I was going to say never once did he make me like laugh, but he did. It was more of the faces that he made. Like his frown is funny to me.
Yeah.
Like his thermos was funny to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a cartoon.
It was.
It was a real life cartoon of a movie, which that's that was what they were wanting to make, and they made it.
Yeah.
You know, like he has this thermos that like just it's a flashlight, it's a grappling hook, like he made it in the Scouts, like, and it's funny that like he can use this thermos, and it also he uses it as a thermos and like puts like 4 different kinds of soup in it.
That landed for me. There was the scene that made me laugh the hardest is minor spoiler for Hubie Halloween, but also if you want to watch Hubie Halloween, like this is the moment where like you should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where he like rescues a black cat from getting hit by a car.
Yes.
And then he tosses it to the owner or something. And then somebody says, I can't remember who, but somebody says, I'm going to beat you with that black cat, like, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of the black cat is holding it, and she just reacts to what he was saying. But the black cat was like,
yes, I did laugh at that too.
Oh my God.
I forgot about that. They animated the cat's face.
That was really funny to me. He was like, "Oh, but you with that cat?"
Yeah.
And then the cat was like, but it was like not in the center, so you could miss it.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If you didn't catch it,
it was like it was the girl. Remember, it was the girl that he had the crush on. That yelled at.
Yes.
What's her name from SNL?
I don't know.
She's on SNL.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
She played the neighbor, but like he rescues the cat, and then she's mean to Hubie, and then his love interest sticks up for him,
right?
And she says she'll beat her to death
with her own cat.
Yeah. And she reacts to it, but the cat's just like
the cat's making like a face.
His eyes are like size of quarters. It made me laugh really hard. So that's why I can't like say never watch this movie. It's no Jack and Jill, but it's also no classic like Waterboy.
Are you gonna watch it again next Halloween? Like, will it make your Halloween shortlist?
Not shortlist. No.
Halloween top 10?
No.
Top 20? Maybe.
21st, maybe. Like, it's just outside. Like, I will never say I'll never watch it again, but I'll never say it's a Halloween must-watch.
Yeah.
If you disagree and if you loved it, let us know why.
If you loved a Hubie Halloween, hey, we say this all the time on this podcast. You're allowed to like whatever movie you want to like. And again, I can't reiterate enough that this movie wasn't completely bad.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was like I would have really enjoyed it and would absolutely give it a thumbs up recommendation to anyone apart from Adam Sandler's character choice. And the problem with that is that he's the main character. But there's a great cameo from Ben Stiller. Even Kevin James does a good job.
Yeah.
Like sometimes Kevin James is a hit or miss for me, and he did a good job. Like it's a great cast of actors, and
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say watch it with a buddy. Like I would watch it with you before I ever watched it with Sydney.
Yeah,
because Sydney was the whole time like she watched the first 10 minutes,
and
maybe
then checked out.
That's being generous. Is 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then she's out, and then like she put her AirPods in and watch vlogs. Like that's how out she was.
Right.
But I would watch it right now with you.
Right.
Because we could just like make fun of it
It's
or
funny.
laugh together at the good jokes, you know.
And once
watch it with a buddy. If your buddy doesn't like have coronavirus.
Yeah.
Be safe, but watch it with a friend.
Yeah, watch it with a friend who can appreciate the dumb humor because your wife made it further than like Heather wouldn't even
give it a chance.
Flirt with putting it on.
Yeah.
Because she's like she just can't do Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I get it. I can't say
I get it. It is It's crazy. Here's the final thing, and then we'll move on. It's crazy that Adam Sandler moved from Uncut Gems to Hubie Halloween.
It's
in
I
1
love it.
year.
I love it.
It's such a crazy.
So he said, if I'm not nominated for an Oscar for Uncut
if I don't
Gems,
win the Oscar, because he was nominated, wasn't he?
no, not at all.
He wasn't even nominated.
Not even a nod. Nope.
That's
Academy.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
He said, if I'm not nominated, I'm going to make the worst movie of my life. Which it wasn't.
It wasn't.
You
his
lied.
Worst movie.
You're a liar. You're a fraud.
Adam Sandler, you're a fraud. It wasn't your worst movie, but it
was
wasn't great.
bad.
Technically,
it was bad, but
what
it was.
he did,
Was it supposed to be? It's got to be supposed to be bad, like purposefully bad.
I think that's why he did that character.
Yeah.
I think that he didn't make his worst movie. He absolutely made his worst character.
Yeah.
Maybe more annoying than Jill from Jack and Jill.
I've got to rewatch it, but I won't. So I'm going to disagree
either.
with you.
But there's always moments, even in Jack and Jill, the scene where she's in the bathroom after she had that date with the
What's my name? Donkachino.
That movie has its moments where it's kind of funny.
It's like the only part I remember is Al Pacino. What's my name? Donkachino.
Yeah, that's fair. But the part where she's in the bathroom and he's talking to her through the door, and he's like, "Are you on a motorbike in there?"
Oh yeah.
For some reason, that made me laugh. That's just
that's
just lowbrow.
I get it.
Let's talk about some good. Let's talk about some good
Something
filmmaking.
good. Yeah.
The Boys season 2 is officially
done. It's done.
And man,
I'm gonna give it
so good.
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up and spoilers.
Spoilers ahead.
If you haven't watched it,
just kind of click through.
Yeah, just like 15 seconds at a time. Just like bloop, 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 bloop. If you're on podcast or if you're on YouTube, 10 seconds at a time.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about spoilers real quick. So if you haven't watched The Boys and you care about spoilers, this is your chance to fast forward. If you haven't watched The Boys and you don't care about spoilers, stick around. If you don't care and you don't think you're going to watch it, like our moms shouldn't, you can still listen, but it might not interest you. Fair.
And
here we go. We just started talking really fast. What were your highlights for season 2 of The Boys?
The whole series season finale, the whole thing,
the whole
start
finale.
To finish.
So my first highlight was the girls get it. Frenchie saying girls really do get it done, while Lady Maeve, the female, and Starlight are just curb stomping.
Oh my gosh! So we were watching it. So I had my 2 brother-in-laws over to watch it, and my father-in-law came over because he's a big The Boys fan. I didn't know how the night was gonna go because it was the first time I've watched this type of show with my father-in-law. It was the best time. And then whenever they start curb stomping Stormfront, my brother-in-law Skylar, he says, $10 says somebody says girls get it done.
Yeah, and they should.
And then I said, no way, all the girls are way too cool to say that.
No.
And then Frenchie goes, girls really do get it done. And I looked at him, I was like, you madman.
It was perfect.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And of course the girls wouldn't say that
right,
because
they are too cool to say that.
Yeah.
But then Frenchie says it, I'm like,
it worked. It was awesome. That's like, see that, dude, I'm all about that. Like that is the best, most healthy kind of girl power on a show.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's like forced, you know?
Yeah, it is. Sometimes it's forced. Like I'm all for like strong female characters.
Absolutely.
And, like, kicking the crap out of somebody.
Totally.
Absolutely. But
sometimes
it's
spoon-fed.
Right.
Sometimes
absolutely.
it's spoon-fed. And this time it was warranted.
That rivals Endgame whenever all the girls like come together, right? That rivals Endgame for me whenever they're just stomping the crap out of that Nazi
That was
crazy
the best
person, you know?
female superhero moment I've ever seen on
good.
anything ever.
It was so good. Because Maeve comes out of nowhere.
That fight scene.
Oh my God.
This is like major spoiler. That was awesome. That was awesome.
So good.
That was awesome.
So I totally forgot that the female, I think that's what
the female,
yeah. whenever she snapped her neck, I was like, that's not all right with me. I totally forgot that she had like regenerative powers.
Yeah.
Like
she's like Wolverine.
Yeah. Totally forgot. She snapped her neck. I was like, oh, I'm not all right with that. I'm not cool with that.
Right.
You know? And then like she snapped her neck back into place, and then Queen Maeve arrived, and I was like, this is golden.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is golden. This is perfect.
Totally.
I don't have a single negative thing to say about that finale.
Totally. It was a great finale. My only negative is that I wish it would have been longer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could have had like 30 more minutes of it.
Absolutely.
Another highlight, it was definitely the speedboat going through the whale.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Huey's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely, it was a slow burn throughout as far as the Deep's storyline and it all, but I think that'll pay off in season 3 even more. And I liked that they just let his character kind of develop in that area of
because the thing is, I never thought I would like the Deep again.
Right.
Because I thought they gave him some development in season 1.
Right.
Like they made you feel bad for him with his that whole weird gills scene.
Yeah. But after what he did in the first episode, he was a villain. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think he got he got what he deserved.
Absolutely. And they spent season 2 really allowing the audience to really recognize that he is changing.
Yeah.
And trying to change. And he just wants to be a part of the 7 again. And like I think that it was a good way to like not just from one episode to the next be like, okay, he's back, like let's start. They spent the whole season, which is a brave move.
Yeah.
Kind of just developing him.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I would like to rewatch it. There wasn't an episode that felt wasted to me.
No.
But there also some episodes didn't feel spectacular, which is like that's totally fine. Not every episode needs to be like as high as season 1, you know?
Yeah.
Some episodes you have to take slow and you have to build characters and take them on their arcs and everything like that to reach the finale and have that high of a finale, you know?
Yeah.
I don't really have anything bad to say about it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
I wish I had like the movie reviewer's mindset to go into this season and like pick it apart for what it did wrong. But all I can think about is that season finale. Even and how just every single story beat paid off.
Yeah, and I think it like even from a standpoint of like having, if you've read the comics, at this point it's kind of taking its own liberties.
Yeah,
with direction and even why did I just lose her name? Stormfront.
Yeah.
Even Stormfront is a man in the comics, not a female character.
Yeah.
Even small things like that, which is great. I thought that the casting of Stormfront, I thought it was excellent. But even small things like that it's kind of the fork in the road has hit where similar to The Walking Dead, where these are the books, this is the show. We're going to take inspiration from the books, but we're not staying true to the books themselves.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing to do in a television format, because there are a lot of things that translate better in a book form versus like a cinematic form. So like even a review of being like, well, it's not exactly like the books, because I'm sure there are people out there who are like, well, this and this are different, or even there are certain things and aspects about Black Noir that are different, as far as I can tell right now, in the books than they are in the series.
Yeah.
And so like even things with like main characters, that they're kind of turning it into its own thing, which I think is great.
Yeah. There is a fine line between, because I've started reading more in my quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fine line between taking liberties with the books and for your adaptation But the most important thing is you have to do justice to the characters.
Yeah.
Like if you do something different, you still have to like do justice to that character that people love. And I think that this show is really pulling it off.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to show justice to the characters, and you have to, I think the main important things if you're going to change the story itself is you have to show justice to the characters, like you said, and you have to understand the heart of why people fell in love with the book in the first place.
Yeah, because it's honestly, if you do it right enough, because I just read The Shining, and it's pretty different from the movie.
It's absolutely different, yeah.
There's a reason why Stephen King hated it.
Yeah.
And remade it.
Yeah.
But I love movies.
Because The Shining is the perfect example of that movie does justice to the characters.
Yeah.
And it has the same heart of the book itself
for
like the way that you feel reading the book and the way that you feel watching the movie, even though they're different, is still the same.
It also gives you a different experience with that source material.
Sure.
Because like The Shining, I watched the movie 100 times before I ever read the book.
Right.
And the book gave me a different thrilling experience than the movie did.
Sure.
And I understand why Stephen King didn't like it because, that was one of his first books.
And arguably one of his most popular.
Exactly.
As well.
And I understand why he didn't like it and why some diehard Stephen King fans might not. I don't know. I haven't dug that deep into it. But for me personally, that movie gives me a whole different set of thrills than the book does.
Right.
Which is what I can say about The Boys if I read the books one day. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I totally
There's
agree.
a very fine line between adaptations and the liberties they take. Where they're like disrespecting the source materials and the original fans, and then doing justice to the story, but doing something new.
Yeah, and I think that's the bottom line. I think what showrunners are learning now, as far as television, movie adapting books, or especially beloved comic books or characters or whatever, what they're learning is just that. They're learning that even if we're going to change the narrative itself, we have to keep the character.
In the heart.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think that's where, even like Umbrella Academy, it's vastly different from the books. Like 100%.
Okay.
Not 100%, but you know what I'm saying. It's vastly different.
Okay.
Even the vibe in like season 2, like even the aesthetic and like the vibe, like the comics are a lot more kind of gothic and a lot more dark and stylized. And the whole world is a little bit more like... I don't know how to. The whole world is a little more like the writing of it is more cheeky.
Okay.
The whole world is a little more
in the
books.
Okay,
like it's a little more whimsical.
Okay.
Like the characters are more like Luther's actually got a gorilla body. Like his head's like this big and his body's huge. Stuff like that.
Got it. Okay.
Which they have to change anyway. But at the end of the day, they got the characters right as far as their personalities. And then like a good example of them not getting it right would be like the Percy Jackson movies. Would you agree with that? Like
absolutely. I just reread them.
Right.
The movies are hot garbage.
Yeah, the movies they
real
don't
bad.
The characters aren't.
Yeah.
They don't justify the characters and they lose the heart of the books.
And
themselves.
that's the writers, not the actors.
Right. That's to no fault of Logan Lerman or whoever, because he's a good fit.
He wasn't bad.
He looks great.
He was older, but he did a good job.
Yeah.
But
the directing and like it's like treating a book as source material versus treating a book as
what's going to sell more.
Yeah.
What's going to be more financially viable.
Yeah.
Based on like the current climate of movies.
Yeah. But it is refreshing to see that adaptions of loved books, comic books or novels are like producers and directors are starting to realize, like, if we make this movie based on like keeping what people love about it alive, then it's going to be more successful than us just trying to sell McDonald's toys. You know?
Absolutely. There's a fine line, because you want to take the source material, pay homage to it, respect the fans and the characters and the author of the source material, but you have to do something new.
Yeah.
Or else you get the Lion King remake, which is just the Lion King, but without the heart.
Yeah. Or arguably you get certain new Star Wars movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like where you have to make a new story. You can't kind of recycle plot points. pretty blatantly.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And that's why I think even in the Star Wars fan base, Star Wars fans weren't as into the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Because they wanted something new.
Right.
They want the heart.
Yeah.
And they want you to honor the characters, but they don't want the same story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And those aren't books, but it's similar because it's a franchise.
It is absolutely similar.
Yeah.
I don't envy directors and writers.
Right.
Because especially when you're doing an adaptation, which is 80% of Hollywood nowadays.
Yeah. Or a remake or a sequel or absolutely.
Which is why the Avengers movies are so beloved, because they honor those characters and those stories, but they still do some, like, there's a fresh breath and you can feel it.
And like and I mean, it's important to note even now that the term MCU was created because of the movies, because people were saying that's not what Tony Stark did in the books, or that's not what Bruce Banner did in the books, or that's not what Steve Rogers did in the books, or that's not how Winter Soldier came to be in the books. Yeah. And that's why the term MCU, which is Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're saying there's a comic book universe. This is the cinematic universe.
Absolutely.
Like, we're going to take source material from all different kinds of books, because there are different universes just in Marvel books, whether it's the ultimate Avengers, whether it's the Ultimate Spider-Man or the original Amazing Spider-Man. Like, Tom Holland's or the MCU portrayal has just as much of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics that came out in the 2000s, and it still pulls from, the original Amazing Spider-Man comics that came out in the 70s.
And it also does something new.
Right.
That's what's so crazy important and crazy stressful, I can imagine, for people making movies.
Right.
Like, I can't imagine how, like, they're making to bring back an older point, they're remaking the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Rick Riordan, the author, is going to be is actually heavily involved. But the first attempt went so wrong, and it's pretty well hated. Not the actors, but the adaptation of the source material,
especially by fans of the series,
right?
Of the book series.
Like, I grew up on it, and I recently reread it and watched the movies with my little sister to make fun of it. Like, there's such a heavy line, or a heavy load to carry. There's also a very thin line to walk.
Yep.
And I don't envy that. And there's also, like, some give and take there.
Yeah.
Like, fans of the original source materials have to give as much as they take.
Totally.
To get something new, but also something fulfilling.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Yeah.
Can't imagine. I'm exhausted talking about it.
Yeah. And I mean, all that to say, like, it is refreshing and it is exciting to see now that producers and writers and directors are finding loved series and they're adapting them, especially with a book series. It's so much better to give them a television show instead of like if you can sell a television show or a Netflix series or a Disney Plus series over like a cinematic release, that's so much better, because there's so much more information in a book that doesn't translate into a movie. Another series that comes to mind that was a book series that they adapted into a movie was the series of Unfortunate Events. Like, the movie was good. It was.
Yeah.
But they crammed they crammed 3 books into one movie, and people just didn't go see it. People didn't get it. But the Netflix series of Unfortunate Events with Neil Patrick Harris,
3 seasons?
3 seasons, the whole book. Like, they're not doing it anymore because they finished out the series of books.
Yeah.
Every season, two episodes are dedicated to each book. So it's like part 1, part 2 of the Reptile Room.
But you also have to think that's 2 hours, and it's like, not only are the books small,
it's a whole movie,
but they're also
dedicated to one book.
It's also like, it's 2 hours dedicated to not only a children's book, but also a children's book that is like elementary school children's book.
Yeah.
Like, big font, little itty bitty little margins,
Yeah.
And they dedicated 2 hours to
they took their time and really invested into it. And that series, It doesn't get a lot of hype. It doesn't get as much hype as it deserves.
No.
Because it's excellent.
It's excellent. Absolutely.
From the acting to the casting to the set design to the costume design, to the vibe to Patrick Warburton narrating as Lemony Snicket.
So good.
It's solid throughout. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best shows on Netflix.
Absolutely.
That you can, like mom, you can watch it.
Yeah.
You can watch it with your kids. You can watch it with your wife. You can watch it with your significant other. And it's just
it's
good,
well made.
Fun,
it's a
good
fun
storytelling.
story. Yeah.
And it
done.
pays homage to the books.
Yep.
And honors the characters.
Yep.
That's all.
That's it.
So, moving on from
and that's how you do it. Easy enough, right?
That's how you do it.
Easy enough.
And that's the end of our TED Talk. Let's talk about the Haunting of Bly Manor as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have to spoil this. We won't
it.
spoil this one as much, but we'll definitely talk about it.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
So you watched it.
I did.
I watched it as well.
Was Heather included on this one?
Yeah.
Sydney was not. She's not.
Yeah, which she probably could have.
She definitely could have.
Basically, if you watch The Haunting of Hill House and you haven't watched The Haunting of Bly Manor, it's not like The Haunting of Hill House.
Absolutely not.
And there's a part at the very end where a character says, and this shouldn't spoil anything, but a character says at the very end, "That's not a scary story; it's a love story."
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's hard to review this without giving any spoilers. We're gonna try our best, but if you don't want to know anything about it, you probably have already seen it.
Yeah, but I say that to say that shouldn't be a spoiler as much as a warning. Like, don't go into this looking for The Haunting of Hill House, because The Haunting of Hill House was
horror,
scary, like jump scares, haunted house.
Yeah,
this is a haunted manor, but it focuses more on characters falling in love with each other.
Yeah,
really 3 sets of couples, really 4 actually.
Yeah,
and 2 kids, and I mean it's based on the book The Turn of the Screw, which has been adapted 20 times.
Right.
Over the turn of, and she even says that at the beginning of the...
Yeah.
But, so you've probably seen a version of The Haunting of Bly Manor if you've seen any of the Turn of the Screw adaptions of the book.
First off, before we get too deep, did you like it?
I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought... For what it was very good and it was executed very well.
Sure.
Now, without diving into spoilers, because I want to keep it as spoiler-free as we can for this section.
Totally.
What do you think that the trailers are misleading? And the name, like the extension of The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes. Unfortunately.
I think it's a little bit misleading.
I think it should have been. I think there should have been even if they're going to call it The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
It's not a sequel.
No.
It's not, aside from there being a supernatural element and a big house, it doesn't share any qualities besides that.
Right.
Even from a storytelling perspective, really.
Right. Like my wife is so against ghost stories, it's not even funny. Like it just creeps her out.
Mm-hmm.
But I would totally say like, hey,
she
you
can
handle this.
Totally.
You would like this.
Absolutely.
And I think that you would.
Yeah. And I would say, too, if you're going into this, it is absolutely a slow burn. Like, it's a lot of, I understand a lot of the reviews that I see are people saying this show is so boring.
I don't think it's boring.
It's not boring. It's just it's just a show focused on building characters.
Yeah. It's a very good
A lot of
character
conversations, a lot of talking.
Yeah.
But not boring.
My only negative thing that I have to say about this show is whenever I was watching it, I was slowly understanding where we were going.
Right.
And after every couple episodes, I had to readjust my mindset. Like the first 2 episodes, I'm like, this is going to be a spooky show. Like,
yeah,
this is a Haunting of Hill House like thing, and it's going to be a slow burn, just like Haunting of Hill House was. But we're going to get there. 2 more episodes. I'm like, all right, I need to like readjust my mindset.
Because we're still not there yet.
It's not going to be like Haunting of Hill House, but I'm intrigued. Like, I have to finish it. And a couple more episodes in, I was like, all right, so this is what it is. I understand. let me try to appreciate it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever it finished, I'm like, I appreciate this. I genuinely enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
But it's not The Haunting of Hill House.
No.
And that's what I was excited for, was The Haunting of Hill House. Like, that
Another
world,
one.
that vibe, that like...
Yeah, it's not that.
And it does deliver like the hidden ghosts and everything like that way in the background that like make you jump,
Mm-hmm.
without like the violin or the drums, like the doom,
Yeah.
It delivers that without losing what this season is supposed to be, or this series is supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's obviously intended to be more focused on amazing actors being amazing actors.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, like,
and it was well put together, well filmed, well directed,
perfectly splendid.
Absolutely.
Not perfectly splendid, but splendid nonetheless. I'd say it was imperfectly splendid.
That's probably a review of the show that we've gotten.
Yeah.
Not perfectly splendid, but splendid nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good.
It was good.
Solid. What would you rate it? What would you rate it, you think? I'd say solid 6.
I'd probably agree. Like 6.5, 7. I always rate
Solid
stuff higher
6.
than you, though.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'd probably say a 6.5 or 7. Like, it's worth a watch.
So what's Hill House then?
Solid 8.
Solid 8?
Yeah.
I'd say this is a solid 6 for me. It would
Hill House or
no, Bly Manor.
Okay, gotcha.
Hill House is like a 7, 7.5.
So there are, just like to briefly.
This is another show that I don't think I would recommend my mom watch though.
No,
I don't think she would like it. I just don't think she would like it.
I don't think. I know what my mom likes, and it's not this.
Yeah, and I do too, and that's why I say that, because she's gonna listen to this and she's gonna be like, "Oh, I want to watch this show."
Oh, it's like a spooky show, but not spooky. I can watch this.
You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it.
My mom likes some scary.
Just
movies.
watch Downton
She
Abbey
really
again.
My mom has never gone that far. My mom honestly likes some scary stuff. She really likes Nightmare on Elm Street movies and everything like that. But she probably wouldn't like this. It's too slow for her.
It's too slow. Yeah, it's not mom approved.
No, but not
here.
for the reason that.
But not for the reason that's like, don't watch it. It's bad.
Yeah,
it's
don't watch it, Mom, because I watched it and liked it, but it's bad and you won't like it.
It's like, don't watch it because I genuinely think you won't be interested.
Yeah, you're gonna make it 2 episodes in and be like, all right, enough is enough. Let's just watch Yellowstone again.
Right.
Let's
just watch the news. Yeah, so
to briefly divert from this, The Haunting of Hill House, the first episode scared me.
You.
The second highest fear I've ever felt
mm-hmm.
for any sort of media.
Mm-hmm.
First being It Chapter 2. You know when that like granny comes out of she's like, "Are you still Daddy's little girl?" And she's like, "Are you?" And then she like comes out and she's like huge and creepy. And so there's a state of fear that I reach that I've only felt twice before. And it's when I lose my peripheral vision and I can only see the screen and what's in front of me. And I feel like the character's fear. It's only happened twice. And it's once in theaters when I saw It, and she like comes out of the thing and she's naked and like freaky looking, right?
Yeah.
Second time was of Haunting of Hill House. The first episode, whenever she spoilers.
You can spoil
for
a show that came out
2
2 years
yeah.
ago.
Spoiler for Haunting of Hill House. Whenever he's on the phone and his sister's in his apartment and she's like, "Hey, our sister killed herself," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he turns around and she's right behind him, and then her like face decays and her eyes go over white. I lose my peripheral vision and my whole body just goes bzzz. Like,
in retrospect, that scene's really not that scary.
It's not.
We rewatched it.
It's not that scary, and I have rewatched it since because I've watched it twice, and it didn't get me because of course I was expecting it, and I'm like, wow, what a great moment, but not scary.
Yeah,
but I was not expecting it at all the first time. Lost my peripheral vision, and my whole body went numb.
You're like a goat.
Yeah.
Just your whole body tenses up. Fall over.
Yeah.
Also, we haven't talked about this on the show, but Cobra Kai moved from YouTube Red as a series to Netflix. Season 3 is releasing on Netflix, so Cobra Kai
Yes.
officially is a Netflix original series.
Best move that series could have possibly made.
Yeah, that it is. Excuse me. It is a disservice to that show that so few people have seen it.
It is a disservice that it had YouTube money, not Netflix money.
If it had Netflix money from the get-go,
It
because
would have
it's
been
such
like, I think it would have been not as big as Stranger Things, but a couple rungs below it.
it'd be up there.
That show is incredible.
And it's incredible for all the right reasons, because
Yeah.
you learn that very fast, because the production value is so low on it, because it's a YouTube show and there's not
Right.
Netflix money behind
Yeah.
it. And I think season 3 is going to be like that. Like, I think it's still.
That's
think Netflix.
that's why I would think it's the best move that show could have.
Because on the
possibly
on the
had.
trailer it says season 3 coming soon, season 4 in training. So season 4 is about to be Netflix money,
Yeah,
and it's going to be great.
so good.
But for those of you who haven't watched Cobra Kai, because not many people had a subscription service to YouTube,
Why? Right?
right?
What? Why?
Really, the only pro in a normal mindset of having a subscription to YouTube is there's no ads,
Right.
which is great if you're on YouTube
Yeah.
all the time.
Absolutely.
But this show was like a YouTube series. It ran for 2 seasons with a third already filmed and on the back burner. And it's not big on production, but it's big on nostalgia. Well, not even big on nostalgia. It's the right amount of nostalgia, and it's big
perfect.
on heart.
Absolutely. I couldn't have put it better.
And it takes
It leans just enough into the Karate Kid.
yeah.
Just enough.
So, for those of you that don't know, Cobra Kai is a direct sequel 20 years later, 30 years later to the Karate Kid 1 and Part 2. I would
One
say.
in like 1 and 2.
Because he talks
Yeah.
in season 2. He talks about being
Yep.
part of Cobra Kai, and it focuses on the villain of season 1. It focuses on the villain of the first movie, Johnny Lawrence, who's very much portrayed in the movie as the villain. You know, he's the antagonist to
Right.
Danny's
LaRusso.
yeah,
LaRusso. Yeah.
like his protagonist, and he's
Right.
got this evil, like sensei, and then who is the polar opposite of Mr. Miyagi. And it takes Johnny Lawrence and it humanizes him to the point where it does a beautiful thing. It does a really beautiful thing where it perfectly portrays misunderstanding and also harboring offense.
Yeah.
Like humans do. It perfectly portrays the natural human element of, I don't like that guy because when we were in high school we didn't get along, and kind of blaming them for things in their own lives. And it does such a good job at humanizing the villain in the movie, and like showing you like he was never the villain.
Right.
He was just a teenager.
He was a teenager living his life, and the circumstances of his life were this.
Right.
You know?
And it shows you why he was the way he was as a teenager,
Yep.
and how that affected him as an adult, and how now he's trying to change his life
Yeah.
and do right by people
Yeah.
because he's sick of being the villain in his own
Honestly,
story.
What,
But he, the whole time-
what's his name? Johnny what?
Lawrence.
Johnny Lawrence is one of the most intriguing characters that I've seen in probably the last 4 years.
Now.
Right,
Because of
in
Cobra
Kai.
Kai. Yeah.
Cobra Kai is a goofy show. It is the perfect combination of goofy and heart-filled.
Because of the
like,
production. The only thing that makes
wonderful-
it goofy is the production.
Yeah, and some of the acting is a little bad, but they kind of come back into it, right?
Yeah, but I would say that's all because of the YouTube money. Like
Absolutely. If
they're
there was a better
spending all the
director,
paychecks
yes.
on Ralph Macchio,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and like
Absolutely.
yeah.
I think if they've already filmed season 3, which I didn't know that they had, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's releasing in January.
Oh, let's go. Anyways, it is goofy. It's undeniably goofy in some parts.
But when
But
you're
also,
watching
it's
you
never like Adam Sandler goofy.
No,
it's never
and-
turn it off goofy. It's like the perfect amount of lighthearted and then excellent storytelling.
yeah. It's so intriguing and it's so captivating.
Yes.
Now, like you said, like some of the fighting is cringy. Some of it's corny.
Yeah.
But it so much makes up for itself by the actual like meat of the story. And
It's so
and
good.
solely like it completely redeems all of those production qualities of like low end production with the Johnny character and the Daniel LaRusso characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the way that they butt heads.
Hey,
but they start to realize, especially, I mean, they end season 2 not on good terms as well, but you see little glimmers of, oh, we're just two guys.
Yeah.
We have common interests.
Yeah.
We both love, like, we could have been friends in high school had XYZ not happened.
One thing that I really appreciated about this, and still no spoilers, is I was really worried because I went to high school with some guys that, like, thought that Johnny was always the good guy and that Daniel LaRusso was the bad guy.
And I've met, and that's a fair...
It's a fairly common theory.
Sure, especially when you view it from the viewpoint of, well, he did date this girl, and then Daniel comes and kind of steals her, and then also he's been training in karate for years, and then Daniel learns karate in 3 months and beats him in a tournament by illegally kicking him in the face.
Right.
These are all things that's like... I sympathize both. Like my pendulum swing is like balanced.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what's so
it.
important.
Yeah,
is because whenever I was going into this show, I mean, I remember seeing the trailers like 3 years ago on YouTube. Whenever they were pushing it really hard, but I didn't care because it's a YouTube show,
right?
And I didn't want another subscription service. But one thing now that it's available to me on Netflix, one thing that I was really, really worried about is I want character development for Johnny. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't want to paint Daniel in a bad... And they don't.
And they don't.
Yeah.
They honestly developed Daniel more even after 3 Karate Kid movies.
Yeah.
He goes through a big arc.
Yeah.
And his wife is great, and his daughter is great, and his son is pointless.
Yeah, his son's just a comic relief waffle eater.
He wasn't even in season 2 until like the very end.
Right.
But they really do paint him in a good light too.
Absolutely.
And there's not really a villain.
They don't take, and it's the same way that it's the same debate that happened after the first Karate Kid, where people were like, I can sympathize with Johnny, even though he's the villain of this 80s movie. I can sympathize with him and how he was kind of molded into what he is now because of who was teaching him.
Right.
And they obviously get into that in season 2 of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
But like you can sympathize both ways, and that's why creating a show where it's like, this is how it affected them. Neither of them are bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're just humans.
And that's what they do so well. No matter how low the production value is, they told this story. Like, even if they had Netflix money,
told a great story.
They couldn't have told it better.
Absolutely.
Like, I give this show a raving review, even though it's low budget and sometimes it's cringy, sometimes the acting isn't the best.
Yeah.
The story they tell, my God. And season 2 ends off on a... Bro, I'm so ready for season 3.
It ends on a great cliffhanger.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, because it's available now, and we know that most of you probably have Netflix subscriptions, more so than you would YouTube Red.
Yeah.
Go check out Cobra Kai. That's a great show for families, anyone, any age. Watch it by yourself. Watch it with someone else. Yeah. It's a great show.
Doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter.
Good.
It's so good. I'll watch it again. You know,
absolutely. And honestly, I was halfway through season 2 whenever they released the season 3 teaser, and I didn't watch it because I wasn't done.
Yeah,
because I had heard some crazy stuff went down on season 2 finale. But
yeah,
I'm glad you brought it up because I never watched it because I forgot about it. The season 3 teaser.
Yeah.
I'm so happy it's coming back in January. Yeah. You've got plenty of time. Watch it.
You've got time on your hands. You got 3 months. It's not a long watch. Each episode is 30 minutes, and it's 2 seasons and 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So it's not like a huge commitment either. Mm-hmm. You can take it in bite-sized, like
absolutely
elements. It's not a you don't have to binge it.
I will give props to my wife. I've publicly stated she's not a good binger. She's not a good person to, like, you find a show that you love and you want to binge it. She's not that person to do it with. Binge it by yourself, bring it to her attention, because she watches an episode, maybe an episode and a half, turns it off, goes to sleep. she did a good job binging this because she got super into it and like.
Did you all watch The Karate Kid before?
We did.
Like, did you have her watch it? Had she seen it before?
No. It blew my mind. She said she hadn't seen it, and I recently bought it because it was recently, I'm guessing because it was released on Netflix, it was released on 4K, Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought it, and I brought it home.
Just the first one?
Just the first one. Which I honestly think Karate Kid 2 is almost just as good.
It's
good. So good. It should be released too. Besides the point. I brought it home. I was like, look what I got. And she was like, never seen that movie. I was like, you're joking.
Yeah.
So we watched it. I honestly forgot how abruptly that movie ends.
Right. Like he wins.
Kick in the face like, you deserved it, Daniel. Fade to black.
Yeah.
That's
but
it.
then the second one picks up right where it leaves off.
Absolutely. Yeah. But she hasn't seen that one, and so I had to explain some flashback stuff.
And once we get closer to the premiere of season 3, we'll round back to this, and we'll talk about some of our predictions for season 3. But
it'll be fun, yeah.
I want to make sure that everyone who hasn't gotten a chance to watch it, because it's relatively new to Netflix, go watch it.
Go watch it.
And we're going to talk about it again, so you should absolutely check it out. It's totally worth your time if you love just good, heartfelt stories. Okay, I want to talk about one more thing.
Let's do it
before we finish off the show.
I like this.
By the time this episode releases, this movie will have released this past weekend.
Okay.
There's this movie. They just released the trailer today for a movie that they're releasing, or maybe not today, but the week prior to the release. They just released a trailer for this movie. It's got me super intrigued. Have you seen the trailer for The Kid Detective?
No, never heard of it.
This trailer just dropped about this movie called The Kid Detective. It stars Adam Brody, and basically he was like an Encyclopedia Brown, like kid detective who solved like kid crimes.
Cool.
And he's older now, he's washed up, and a girl comes to him and he's like he's still only getting like kid crimes to his detective agency. So he's like burnt out, but he's
so
like
is that like
older,
kid crimes? You mean like someone
my
cheats
dog
on a test or someone?
Yeah, like Encyclopedia Brown. Like my dog disappeared. I need help finding it, or
cool.
like
so
someone stole
not
my
murder.
No,
like,
kid
like
Encyclopedia Brown crimes, like kid crimes, like someone stole my baseball card, and then Encyclopedia Brown, it was like Sherlock Holmes for kids.
Cool.
I don't know if you ever read Encyclopedia Brown.
I've never heard of it, but I'm into it.
Oh,
sure.
So anyways, a book series.
I get it though.
That was basically Encyclopedia Brown had a encyclopedia of knowledge, which is why they called him Encyclopedia Brown.
Got it. Easy enough.
And he would solve crimes, but they were like kids' crimes,
Yeah.
Like someone put gum in my hair. I don't know who did it. Maybe not that, but it was Encyclopedia Brown nonetheless. Or like Hardy Boys even, like not major crimes, I guess, but like OG kid mysteries.
Sure.
So this movie's rated R, but it's about that kid grown up.
Cool.
But he's still getting like goofy people bringing him new cases.
Okay.
And finally a girl comes in and says there's been a murder and I want you to solve the murder. So
it's
he's
his
like
big shot.
Yeah, so it's like his big shot. This movie looks great. It's like
Really?
a comedy drama.
Is
like
it theaters, Netflix, Hulu?
Theaters, which is buck wild.
Yeah.
I wish that Netflix would have just bought it because I feel like it's not gonna do well in theaters.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gonna be a good movie.
When's it come out?
This weekend.
No way!
Yeah.
Bro, you want to go see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Sunday,
okay.
Probably Sunday night. This movie's releasing in theaters, but it's called The Kid Detective. The trailer I feel like it's going to be either better than the trailer looks or worse. We'll find out. But it's piqued my interest.
Okay.
Like from the trailer, I was like sold on it immediately when I saw this trailer.
I'm not going to watch the trailer. I'm just going to go see the movie with you.
Are you sure?
I'm sold. I'm sold.
It's really interesting.
Okay.
So I guess by the time the next episode releases, maybe we'll be able to tell you guys more about The Kid Detective and whether it was good or not.
Yeah.
Right now it's sitting at an 8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Tell me no more.
So,
I mean, continue with your thing, but
but I'm saying right now
I'm into it.
It hasn't released as of us recording this, but it's sitting at with 29 reviews and 8 out of 10, which is a good score.
It's a really good score.
And I feel like this is going to be like a sleeper movie.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Like watching the trailer, I don't want to overhype it because we might hate it. But I feel like when I watched the trailer, I was like, this is going to be one of those movies that nobody's going to see.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of our favorite
We
movies.
get to be the cool guys who know too much about movies that know that perfect movie that you've never seen, but we can recommend.
Yeah, so we're going to go see it.
Yeah, I'm super into it. Is that it? That's like the whole thing you wanted to talk about?
That's all I wanted to talk about.
Just basically go see it?
Or just put it on somebody's radar.
Yeah. Oh,
or at least go look at the trailer and then decide whether it's
I'm not going to go see it, but you were excited about it, which got me excited, and I just put it on my calendar, and we'll just buy tickets.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Podzilla. We hope you enjoyed your stay. If you want to win this poster in between Braden and I commemorating Season 1 of Podzilla, as well as these reflective stickers, we have reflective Podzilla stickers that are available as well. If you want to win a poster as well as some stickers, while supplies last, all you have to do is email us something to talk about on the show. We'll give you a shout out, and then we'll send you this poster and some stickers while supplies last for absolutely no cost to you. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So make sure to email us at thepodzillashow@gmail.com. Win a poster, win some stickers, and give us something to talk about, and we'll shout you out on the show.
Yeah, and easily enough, that is our same Instagram username. Our username is at @thepodzillashow, and if you want to give us a follow, we post when we're going to post new videos. We do some polls. We do some fun stuff on it. So give us a follow, and if you want to follow us personally, I'm at Tonus Braden.
I'm at the David Smith Jr., and until next time, stay positive and test negative for Corona.